9:12, perfect. I got 50 minutes to send in my paperwork. I'm gonna rehook so the paperwork is signed. Very nice guy who unloaded me, and he says he watches my videos. So he knows me. And then after this, I'm gonna drive back to my hotel. I'll park the truck in my yard. And you know, again in Waterloo region, everything is closed. There's no dining. But the worst part is I cannot go to Starbucks. So the handle is in, everything is good, lines are connected. I don't have anything left on the ground. What did I do with the bungee cords? I think I have some bungee cords. No. Most important thing, I see these gloves came in very handy, because today it was in the morning it was -7, which is what, 266, only 266 Kelvin. So PTO off, suspension back on. Alright, let me do the well, I send everything to my factoring company. But I didn't hear back. Usually they respond saying that, you know, everything is received for funding today. Alright, so we're 147 kilometers away. So I should be back home at 11. So this will be another boring driving video, so especially if you get car sick just looking at pictures of cars, you know, this video probably is not for you. Tight here, you know. I had to back to a dock. I was afraid somebody will show up and kick me out. But they don't have any, like some of these places they have, you know, you go around, right? Like that's such a huge property, but not very trucker friendly, so you have to come in, back to a dock, and that's how you get out.
Head south on Highway 7, Ontario 12 south toward Brook Street.
And I got up, I set my alarm for 5:45 today. 5:45 in the morning. I got up, packed my bag, even though I'm staying at that hotel for one more day, but I didn't want to leave my computer and my camera in there. And so packed everything, went to my car, because both my car and the truck were parked at the hotel with this tractor, right? I took an Uber to my parking lot to bring the car. I went inside the car, picked up the key for the truck. For some reason it was inside my car. And also yesterday I bought a protein bar. I knew that, you know, in the morning I like having a protein bar. Yeah, sorry for the sound, but we're gonna turn. We're gonna be driving that way. So this is somewhere northeast of Toronto, not too far from Lindsay and Peterborough. Well, actually, yeah, the town is called Port Perry, but Port Perry is that way, probably, I don't know, 5 kilometers. So this is in the middle of nowhere, just in the middle of the field. And now I'll just be turning on this Highway 21.
500 meters, turn right onto Goodwood Road, Durham Regional Road 21, signs for Regional Road 21, Goodwood Road.
Yeah, Highway 21. And so I grabbed the protein bar, went to the truck, started it, and I drained the filter on the night before.
Take the next right onto Goodwood Road, Durham Regional Road 21.
Just in case the weather gets cold. And I was right, it was -7, which is pretty cold.
Continue on Regional Road 21 for 7 kilometers.
Country style. I like that coffee. But we don't want to stop this blockbuster production. You don't see them, you know, this country style. I don't know if they have them in the States, but we used to have them at every corner. And I remember when I worked for a towing company, one guy said, oh yeah, he says, I hate Tim Hortons, I love country style. And I remember there was a Etobicoke, like a western suburb of Toronto, and we had a couple of these country style. Just honestly, like, the coffee tastes better, you know. Tim Hortons became okay for me once they introduced the dark roast coffee, but before that it was just watery brown liquid. I never understand why people are lining up. As soon as there's a Tim Hortons, there's always a lineup, you know. But anyway, and so while the truck started perfectly and no lights, you see, no ABS, no traction control, no check engine light, perfect. And while the truck was warming up, I got my flashing lights because it was still dark. So I put flashing lights on the corner of the tractor, and when I started driving, I drove like that until my tablet basically showed me that it was sunrise. Then I stopped and took them off just to conserve the battery. And then on the way I wanted to grab coffee, and it's like, you know, it was 6:30. No, it was 6:15. And I remember that all these Starbucks in Cambridge, they opened real early. And I went past one, and there's hardly any traffic yet, so I parked on the side, went inside, got venti americano and the venti cup of water, which is basically large 24-ounce cup. And it took me just like I thought. I wanted to be here at just before 9, so unloading takes, you know, maybe half an hour. It's only 4 chains because I need to send this factoring stuff to my factoring company before 10 so that they pay me today. And I'm gonna check again. I don't like it that it's silent. My phone is silent. I don't, because maybe that girl where I sent the paperwork, maybe she's on vacation or something, you know. My BBK shorty headers are still somewhere. Like, these guys, I don't know, takes forever. And I emailed them yesterday about, because it's the same BBK, right? I emailed them yesterday about the throttle body. I said, why on your website you say it's a direct replacement, even though I have a third-party air filter box, right? I have air rate, so it came with its own intake tube, which is a bit bigger than the factory, but even then that one is too small. And I got a reply today. The guy from BBK, the sales manager, says, did you try heating the intake in hot water? He says that's the best way. So, because I know they sell all these what do you call them, like a little adapter, like a piece of rubber which is wider on one end, you know, so you can buy those. But there's hardly any place. If you saw the video yesterday, right, it's very cramped in there. That hose, if I add something, I don't think I'll be able to put it back on, you know. I'd have to cut off something, but I cannot because there's connections for those sensors in there. And so this guy gave me an idea. He says, just put one end in hot water, and he says it'll go over. It'll be tight, but actually that's a good thing. The problem is that now it's -5. So what is that? 268 Kelvin. So what's the speed limit here? I think it was still 70 or 80. I got carried away. I I think it's still slow here for some reason, even though there's no houses. I don't want to get a ticket because I kept my signs. You know, usually they don't like it when you're driving with oversized load signs, but you know, all my loads are oversized. But anyway, so yeah, so now it's cold, right? So either I have to pay somebody and take my car to a shop because I don't have a garage, right?
Turn left onto Lake Ridge Road, Durham Regional Road 23. Signs for Regional Road 23.
That's why, of course, it's good to have a home, you know. Like here's a typical scenario, right? It's cold outside. I cannot do it outside because as soon as I warm up that rubber, right? As soon as I stick it under the hood, it'll get cold. So you need a shop, or I need a house.
Take the next left onto Lake Ridge Road, Durham Regional Road 23. Signs for Regional Road 23.
But
Lake Ridge Road.
houses in Canada are just crazy expensive. Like especially here, over the near Toronto.
Continue on Durham Regional Road 23 for 12 kilometers.
I passed a sign. Yeah, now we heading towards the sun again. Sorry. Like earlier there, I passed a sign that says I think it was condos, but like condo houses, you know. It's starting from 600,000 Canadian. And 100,000 Canadian is 70,000 US, right? So that's 420,000. That's like the cheapest. And then closer to Toronto is going to be $1 million, $1.5 million. You know, it's just nuts. For a plywood house, everything is out of drywall, no bricks, you know, no logs, just a concrete foundation and then plywood. I don't like this. To me, that's like a BS, you know, type of construction. I know, but that's, of course, the same what they do in the States, they do here. Like you blow on that house, it'll fall down. Like, why is it almost $1 million bucks, like closer to Toronto over here? So that's why I'm still thinking about, you know, getting something in the States. I just talked to somebody in Michigan. Of course, the climate is bad, same as here, but like cold, right? But Michigan, as soon as you cross the border, I was talking to the server as I was waiting for my order at the restaurant in Barrie, Michigan, exit 105. There's a truck stop there. I always stop there, and they have a restaurant. But now there's no seating. You just take out only, of course. And I asked the lady, I said, how is real estate here? How expensive? And she asked the cook, and the cook says, oh, it just went up. It was cheaper before, now it just jumped. He says, now probably you need around 120,000 to buy a house here. I was like laughing almost, you know, because 120,000, that's, they said, jumped in price. And then just to give you an idea, right? So I know you can buy a house like for, you know, 40, 50,000 somewhere. Oh, the lady says if you go to Flint, Michigan, she says they have abandoned houses. She said a friend bought an abandoned house for $10,000, but of course she had to replace all windows, you know, doors and stuff like that, clean it up, but she got a house for $10,000. Now in other news, I just opened my I looked at the load board as I was sitting there at the farm place, at the tractor place, and I see there's a nice load, 116,000 pounds from Canada to US. And I know I can do the weight, you know, it would be perfect. But I'm not sure if it'll fit, because the guy says it needs 28 in the well, and I said, what is this? He says it's some kind of a big machine on wheels. So he says, I'm gonna text you the make and model. So now when I arrive back home, I'm gonna look it up and see, you know, see if it'll fit. Basically, we're going south, I think. Maybe I'm mistaken. But what the Google Maps is trying to do is trying to send me via the 407, which is expensive because it's a toll highway, but I don't remember the last time I went through Toronto on 401 on the regular highway. It's so much nicer to go on the toll road. Okay, so I think I'm turning in 4 kilometers. So which way am I going? Oh yeah, we're going south now. And then we're gonna turn this way and the sun will disappear. way here, you know, it was a bit windy, and I still had 30,000 on the deck. So all the way from Wisconsin, I drove at 56 miles per hour, 91 kilometers per hour. But now I'm empty, so we're doing 95 or 59 mph. So I'm about 124 kilometers or 75 miles away from my parking lot. So I think it'll be a beautiful day. I see the temperature is already rising slowly, still below freezing, but improving. But I think as far as my new throttle body is concerned, I'll just wait a little bit. So now I gotta do the main thing I gotta do today is do my books, you know, expenses and profits for November, and I gotta file my HST return so that the government pays me back my sales tax for November, which is usually around $1,500 Canadian. Over here we don't have any big hills, but there's lots of trees, all these forests. I have no idea who owns them. Probably it's all private property. So now I am north and east of Toronto, and I'm heading west. Speed limit is 100. That's kilometers. So hopefully I'll be paid today. Usually when I send in the paperwork this early, like before 10, so they usually pay me after 2 o'clock. I already have the money. Just talked to my factoring company, and they said, yeah, everything is good, you'll get the money today. So we are good. Something is rattling. I think it's my this flimsy frame that's holding my tablet. These things, you know, they don't last very long. Maybe they would last longer if I just use one tablet, but I always, you know, each time I cross the border I have to swap the tablets from, you know, this is Rogers, because I'm in Canada, but once I'm in the States I switch to Verizon, the same tablet but different network, right? Otherwise these guys charge me, I forgot, $5, $6, $7 a day if I keep this tablet. Like it'll work. They will use AT&T in the States, but they charge me that, I think it's like up to 15 days, so basically $100 a month Canadian. So it's cheaper for me to have another tablet. Oh, I already see the CN tower, our TV tower. So today it's a good visibility, so you can see, I can see like downtown Toronto, which is probably, I don't know, 20 kilometers away. And so yeah, it would be really great to do this heavy load, because you know, it would make, so we're entering city of Markham, population 354,000. So that big machine would make for a cool video. So I'm definitely gonna check out the specs of that thing online, see if it'll fit. If it fits, I'll go load it probably Wednesday. Oh wow, that lake, I see, I don't know, 1,000 geese. Like, the lake is covered in geese. They're probably getting ready to oh, wait a second, it's already December. What are they still doing here? Heavy hauler on the other side. So the guy has 4-axle truck, 4-axle trailer, hauling a Komatsu excavator. Like, that's the most, like I always say, that's the most popular setup over here in Ontario, is 4-axle truck with a lift axle and quad trailer, 4-axle trailer. And the way they build them, they have 4 axles like fixed. They're not flipped. Nobody's doing flip axles over here. And look, this guy has some kind of a huge trailer for probably, I don't know, 75, 80 tons. He has 2 pilots just driving empty because he's so long and so wide. And that's how you go broke, you know. I really don't want to get to a point where empty I need 2 pilots. They're just nuts. But I know that's a big company, Scott Woods. I think they do towing as well. And so they have their own pilots, of course. Like, that's what everybody does. Like, somebody who has a lot of trucks, they cannot afford to use outside pilots. And so they have employees working for them, driving these trucks, so this way it's much cheaper. Yeah, the sign at the top says, "Stop COVID-19, stay apart." And there's a picture of 2 people and it says 2M. So you know you're in Canada because everything is metric. Alright, so 2 meters. Stay 2 meters apart, which is 6 feet. You know what? I feel hungry. It's 20 minutes past 10. Normally I don't eat anything in the morning except a protein bar. And I did have 1 protein bar, but I feel hungry for some reason, because yesterday I went to McDonald's again for for the load of beef patties, and I tried this time. I said, give me 12 instead of 10, which I normally get. And of course the girl at the counter had to call the manager because they have no idea how to punch in 12 beef patties. But finally, between the two of them, they managed the order. And the guy says, is it gonna be okay if we put if we use two plates? You know, they give you these plastic plates, right, with the cover. He says, we'll put 6 in one and 6 in the other. I said, perfect. And then they asked me, are you dining in or is this a takeout? Dining in. To me, that's always kind of sounds funny when you talk about McDonald's and they say, are you dining in? Like, what? Dining, this is not like some kind of a fancy French or Italian restaurant, right? This is just what's the word? Kind of like a truck stop restaurant. But I said, yeah, I'm dining in on 12 beef patties. And the girl had a register, because by law they have to do this. They have to write down your name and your phone number in case somebody gets sick, so they can do the tracing, right? But surprisingly, McDonald's is open, but Starbucks is no dining. Well, Starbucks is open, but I mean McDonald's, you can buy food and you can eat inside. Of course, they cut down the amount of tables by more than 50%, but there's still tables. You can go in and you can eat. Whereas Starbucks, again, just removed all the chairs and they left a couple of tables, and it says this table is closed. So all tables are closed. And I asked him about this morning when I was buying my Venti Americano. I said, any idea when you guys are gonna reopen the sitting area? And they said no. And I said, is this because of the, Waterloo region switching to the red zone for COVID? Before it was yellow. Red means they saw more cases, so they switched to a more restrictive regime. And to my surprise, she says, well, actually, the decision to close the sitting area was more of the Starbucks corporate than, like they said, you can stay open. And I understood that when I went into McDonald's, and I was surprised at first, like McDonald's is open, like why Starbucks is closed? So it turns out Starbucks is just being very conservative, and they decided to shut down like that, even though it's not required, because for me, like a homeless guy like me, right, I have nowhere to go. I hate sitting in my car, especially now it's cold, and that's one of the reasons why I went to the hotel. Exit is for 404, which goes north and south. Yeah, Toronto is south, Newmarket is north. Occasional people keep bugging me to install a crane like that behind my truck. so I can load and unload my Jeep, which always makes me smile, because nobody puts a crane on a highway truck, because our application is very weight sensitive, right? My truck already weighs 27,000 pounds, and these cranes, they're very expensive. Like a brand new one, that high-up crane behind the cab is like 100 grand. You know, I'd rather pay somebody $300 to load the Jeep, and half of the time they don't charge me anything. So that's just such a stupid idea. So the only trucks you see over here with these cranes is if it's like oil field truck, or if it's off-road truck. But on the highway nobody does it, again, because it's it adds too much weight and it's too expensive. Oh, a Mack Titan. Mack Titan, the same 4-axle truck, but I think the trailer was 3-axle. And that was a cool truck. Mack Titan, of course. Volvo, as soon as Volvo took over Mack, that's the first thing they did. They killed Mack Titan. I was thinking about that one, but when I was buying my Mack, Titan was $20,000 more, and it was only available as a day cab. Day cab only. So you have to spend, I asked them, I said, how much do you think it'll be? And they said probably about at least $10,000 for the sleeper. And of course it's not the real sleeper. You know, you would have to go to one of these third-party companies that make sleepers for highway trucks, and then it would look very funny, you know. But that truck has a big engine, kind of like Cummins, right? Like 16 liter or 15 liter, but Mack. And so they just killed it. They killed it. They stopped the production. They still make them in Australia. Like, if you guys want to see something funny, just what could have been if Volvo wasn't being a jerk, just go and Google Mack Trucks Australia, and it'll be something like macktrucks.au for Australia. And those guys over there, they have some unbelievable trucks. They're all different, much more horsepower, but like Mack, they have like 3 or 4 models, and one of them is Titan. I think it has the same name. But very interesting trucks. They're more like classic, you know, set forward axle. So guys over there, they have much better choice than we have here. Because yeah, Volvo, like I always say, Volvo only offers the Mack truck as a budget option. So you don't get all the options from the Volvo. You don't get, you know, like the, let's say, the front axle. If you want a really big front axle, you have to go with a Volvo, you know. So because of course Volvo is the owner, so they don't want you to buy Mack trucks. They wanted to buy the Volvo truck. And so all the goodies, all the good stuff is available only with Volvo trucks, not with Mack trucks. So Mack truck, it's okay to start. So it would make a perfect partner in crime for Kaufman, you know, like a budget heavy haul operation like I started, right? You buy a cheap 55-ton Kaufman, and then you buy a Mack CX613, and it's off to the races. So you can do some damage, maybe, you know, 80,000-90,000 pounds. I'm taking the exit for 401 west towards London. Bye bye, nice toll road. here it's less than 50 kilometers.
Continue on Ontario 401 West for 45 kilometers.
Yeah, just under 30 miles to my, and you see this now, it'll start beeping, my transponder. And there's a light, which means that my account has been charged. And so there's no people here, it's all electronic, all through transponders, and you cannot drive on this 407 in a big semi truck unless you have a transponder. If you have a car or a small truck like a pickup truck, you can go without a transponder, but then they charge you extra. They have a camera fee because they have to take a picture of your license plate. And this thing is like crazy for a truck. I think it's like $1 per kilometer Canadian. So it's not cheap, but you know, it saves a lot of stress and a lot of time, as opposed to this. See, this is right away. As soon as you go on 401, the traffic is crazy. There's construction all the time. Now the good news is here, this is west, right? Going west. There's inspection stations here. One on the westbound, on the north side, and one on the south side. And they've been closed for probably close to 1 year now, because they are under construction. So probably that's the only time I really love seeing.
Head southwest on Ontario 401 West.
I love seeing construction signs
West for 42 kilometers.
when the construction is going on at the scale, you know, like, you gotta love that. So thank you, construction guys. Just please don't spend too much time on the road itself past the inspection station. Just focus more on the inspection stations, right? So that's where we need you. Yeah, here's one. This is the westbound. I think it's somewhere here. But there's so much more traffic here, especially trucks, right? Like over there in 407, you see trucks, but you know, not as much as here. But here it's just crazy. And this is already west of Toronto. Now imagine what's happening inside, because there's no bypass. Yeah, this is the scale entrance. And you see now, that's that little house on the right, little building. It's the entire area is covered in construction equipment, and that's the actual scale house. So this town over here is called Milton. Milton, Ontario. So it's exit 320. 320. Not this one. This is the Snow Parkway, but the next one is where you go like downtown Milton. I was there a couple of times when I was doing these numerous axle ratio changes on my International, and then I did one on the Mack. And there's a guy here in Milton. I don't know if he's still in business, but Italian guy, a couple of Italian guys, and I think he had his son helping out already. It's called Holton Gear. Holton is the name of the region or county. Halton County. Anyways, the next step in organization, like Milton is the town and the region is called Halton, Halton. And so his business is cleverly named after the region's name, Halton Gear. Very nice guy. So I would come here with my truck, give him the truck. He would need like 1 day or 2 days, and I would go to a hotel and then pick up the truck, pay him, and go back. It was a rare treat, you know, pulling this trailer with a tandem. It was really real easy. Okay, so now I just have to back to my booster, but I'm not gonna hook it up. But you see this guy, he has to back like that, so I'm gonna see how far my truck sticks out. And I was thinking about this, so I might disconnect the truck Hello, Sergey. Yeah, I'm good. How are you? Seven. Okay, sorry, go ahead. So, well, you know, unfortunately I only have one truck, and I'm in Ontario. So yeah, if the loaded miles are long, right, so then it can pay okay, so I don't have a problem deadheading over there. But you know, for me, Estevan, I think it's like 1,500 miles. So yeah, it's pretty far. Then, do you know how many miles is like loaded miles? Oh yeah, so yeah, it's basically, yeah, it's a short one, so you cannot, you know, pay me enough to for the, it's just too much deadhead. No, actually I go there because now I have the booster, so I can go there. I can give you like a company. It's a pretty big trucking company. I work for them sometimes because, like I said, I only have one truck. Sometimes they give me loads, and you can, these guys, you know, they're not cheap either, but at least they're based in Saskatchewan. You ever heard of Q-Line trucking? Okay, well, it's a pretty big outfit. They are in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, not too far from your place. But if you look online, like it's Q as in quick, and then line, Q-Line trucking. I think it's pretty sure it's .com, QLineTrucking.com, and then you can contact them. Yep. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, I'm just too far. You know, if you have something, you know, I'm okay deadheading somewhere like, you know, up to 2,000 miles, but then of course the load has to pay. You know, if it goes somewhere like 1,000 miles at least, so, you know. But yeah, I can go anywhere, but again, I'm Canadian, so we cannot do loads inside US, but I can do loads inside Canada, and my specialty is US to Canada, Canada to US on the RGN trail. All right. Okay, you're welcome. Yeah, bye-bye. All right. Why is it so difficult to back to this thing? So yeah, these guys gave me the company I gave her, they gave me a couple of good loads, and they don't pay me anything. When I refer somebody, they just say thank you, you know, and that's it. But so I'm not exactly, of course, interested in sending people, because, you know, like this lady, okay, now I cannot do it, I'm too far. You see, and that load is only it's only, she said, 450 miles. Something is going on. Come on, I want to turn off my power off. That's how I like it. Let's see. Because yeah, I cannot block that guy, right? It's just not good. So this is, as we say in Russia, высший пилотаж. Kind of like a sky acrobatics. All right. Once it hits the ramp, it's gonna go up, but well. You know what? I don't want to mess with the boards. Yeah, let's go forward. Forward is easier. See, that's it. So they already parked the trailer in my old spot. I don't know what the deal with these guys is. I think they started with 5 trailers. The excavator is still there. The owner is waiting for. He has a buyer, potential buyer, like very serious, but that buyer is somewhere in the west, I think he said, like a British Columbia or something. only problem with this approach is that was really on the edge, you know, because you know you cannot see anything here, right? That's why you need a spotter. All right, that's it. Now I just need to call an Uber and get to my hotel and pick up my car. Yeah, but this is nice, but of course it's dangerous, you know, it's dangerous.